Hey guys, Manny here. Look at this. This was the Harper's Ferry 1807 build that we did from Dixie Gunworks. One of the kids put it together, and it came out pretty good. Look at that. Let me see if we can get into the sun so you can see just how nice. Look at that. Beautiful walnut. I mean, excellent gun. This is a big 58 caliber. See that? Look at that. Very nice looking gun. See? I think the kid did a pretty decent job on it. Look at that. Huh? So you guys get a look at this. This is our first foray into flintlocks. And I gotta tell you, it is fun to shoot. How's it going, guys? Very fun to shoot. A couple things that I'm learning is I've never shot flintlock before. This is our first time with the flintlock. I've always been a caplock guy. Just seemed to be a lot easier. One thing I've learned is you got to keep, I'm sure it's not a secret to all you guys that shoot all the time flintlock, but you want to make sure that you keep the frizzen over here pretty clean. Wipe it down, and also keep your flint over here, keep it from fouling, because we were having some misfires on this thing. But yeah, we're just shooting, I think, 25, 35 grains of powder. Let me show you guys. We took the bluing off of it, but it's just getting dirty because we've been shooting it. Look how nice that looks. This is Pedersoli. They make a really nice replica gun. I mean, everything came really hard. The castings were real rough, and we just milled them all down and by hand. You know, used sandpaper and just went from the files to sandpaper. And you know, this is a great beginning kit for a kid, especially, you know, in their teens, 10 years old, 11 years old. You teach them the basics of filing and sanding and all that good stuff. And so we've decided to keep this in a white, like the original one, like on the NRA website, their museum website. All right, let's get some shooting going here. Forget about talking. Let's see, we got the black powder kit out today. And even though got the Bowie knife, look at that, nice Bowie knife, beautiful, handmade, one of my buddies, beautiful knife, handmade Damascus, you know, with the ironwood grips here. Even though this knife probably came out, the design of that knife is a little late for this gun to be shooting. We thought we'd bring it out all together and show you guys. We were using patches here, but our balls, they casted pretty big. So this is the 58. This is the 57.5 caliber ball cast at Lee, and it's about 200 and let me see what it is. 285 grain ball. So we've been having some fun, more talking than anything, just because it's it's black powder, right? So we got our powder thrower here already pre-measured. This is an old 460 case we cut down. So this is 36 grains. We're using Swiss, and I found Swiss to be a little bit finer than the Goex. Swiss 3F, and I'm just topping it off. And everybody is safe. We've got everyone behind the muzzle here. We load it up, and our balls have been going in not too bad. I'm going to push them in there and pack them down. There we go. And remember, when you're loading any type of muzzle loader, you always want to make sure you know where your guide is on here, so you don't sit there and push it down and you think it stops and you're done and you create a pipe bomb because you've got a little bit of airspace in here. You don't want that. You want to seat the projectile all the time on top of right on top of your powder, and that's what we did here. This is the original rod that came with the gun, and all we did was just stuck on a extension piece here, just to give us a little bit more of a angle here. And beautiful wood. Look at that. That is awesome. We just sanded it down and put a little bit of the finish on here is tongue oil. See? All we did was add a little tongue oil. It's smooth as silk. We did about 5 coats of tongue oil. In between, we brushed it down with 4/0 steel wool, and then when we applied it, we used 2000 grit sandpaper. So the thing came out beautiful, really smooth. I mean, it's not really, you're not building it, you're just assembling it. But you know what? For the first timers, it's fun. And I like to just double check, since we're not using a patch, I like to double check, make sure our ball isn't moving in there. And since we're not hiking around with it or hunting, we're good. All right. Another thing is we don't have different grades of Swiss like you're supposed to have. So we're just going to prime it with the 3F here, and I'm just going to make a line here in the pan. Like I said, this is what we were experimenting with. There you go. Hopefully that's enough to get a first shot. We had a couple where we were shooting and they weren't going off. So I think it was just because it got fouled up. All right, let's get to the line here, and we're just going to take a shot downrange a little bit. And we haven't hit the target yet, but hey, we're still practicing. So I'm going to do two-handed here. I find it shoots a little bit better, even though it's a hand gun and not a hands gun. Yeah, awesome. A little more steadier with two hands. I know, it's not authentic with the two hands, but what do you got to do, you know? It's a hand gun, not a hands gun. So, all right. And I found that after we get done shooting, just wiping it down a little bit, wipe down the frizzen, and wipe down your flint, kind of helps. And then I've been blowing in a hole here just to get some of that. Just make sure there's no embers left. So when we're loading up, we don't got to worry about anything shooting out in our face. That's the way I was taught to load black powder. All right, let's shoot a little bit more. And again, Harper's Ferry, designed first American-made pistol down in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. I think it's Virginia. And of course, was destroyed during the Civil War. The factory was destroyed during the Civil War. And I don't think they ever rebuilt it, if I remember correctly. So, let me get this ball in there. Start it up. Give it a little bit. It's a little bit of a push, but there we go. And we're seated, and we're ready for another shot. I was going to grind up a little bit of powder. I just didn't have a chance to yet. But, oh, and then of course, our cap here, we just got a drilled out old cap on one of the old black powder cans we had, and then we just cut a 223 shell. Cut the base off of that, and we use that as our funnel, which is, you know, pretty handy. All right, let's get back on the line. So you see, close the frizzen. There you go. You're ready to go. We're on half cock right now, but let's check here because I'm talking. I want to make sure that nothing moves. And again, this gun is ready to shoot. It is loaded. You got to treat it as a loaded firearm. You can get up to the line, you cock it, and see if we could do a one-handed shot here if it'll work. See if I remember where I held it last time. Oh man, that was not good. Let's try this one more time. See that? That's what I was talking about. Yeah, our spark isn't getting to the powder. Let's see if we put a little, maybe I don't think we're putting enough powder. Hold on. Like I said, it's our first time shooting flintlock. So all these little intricacies we got to learn. Let's see what we got going on here. There we go. Excellent. A little bit of a delay reaction, but I think that's from using the 3F instead of using like a 4F or like a real fine black powder. I think what we're going to have to do is just grind up some of our own powder. I wouldn't recommend it, but I've ground up powder before. Just use a mortar and pestle. You'll be fine. And again, we're going to wipe down the frizzens because I'm neurotic like that. The gun is empty, so all right, we'll put it half cock. We'll blow through the hole a little bit. Make sure none of the embers are in there. We don't want any surprises. And of course, when you're loading your muzzle loader, always load off the gun, just like this. You don't ever want to pour your powder directly into the barrel, just because you don't know if you got a live ember in there still. It'll shoot up at you. Another thing you want to do is when you pour, don't have it over your face. You don't want the muzzle right over. Don't be looking inside. Kind of do it on the off, just in case, because you never know. You know, we're dealing with powder. Oh, one more thing. When you load your sprue, your ball, you can see a little sprue right there. Just make sure you put the sprue either face up or face down. There we go. And that way, you center the sprue, and you don't got to worry about it engaging anything. You don't have to worry about the sprue kind of messing up your rotation on there. All right, one more time. I'll show you what we did here. Let's put a little bit more powder. I think I'm going to put a little more powder than we did last time for the priming charge, just because we want to make sure we get proper ignition, full ignition. And I'm not an expert on flintlocks, like most of you guys might be, but like the flint, I don't think the flint is all that even also, but I looked at it. That looks good enough. It's throwing a little bit of a spark, but if you guys have any comments on how we can improve shooting this thing, by all means, you know, send me a message. All right, let's try one more here. And I know you guys are dying to see it hit the target one more time. Two-handed this time. Let's do a two-hand handgun. We're turning it into a hands gun. Yo, missed that one. That was cool. I'll tell you, there's nothing like shooting these guns, man. It's addicting. You know, instead of getting that like that sharp snap when you're shooting smokeless powder, you get like a bam, bam, bam. This thing is more like a whoosh, just like a push. It's fun to shoot. It smells awesome. You know, I know it might sound kind of odd, but the smell is just unbelievable. There we go. We'll blow some smoke. Let's load up one more time and see if we can get this guy to fire. That one time, a little bit of a delayed reaction, but you know what? When you're dealing with technology as old as this, I mean, it's awesome. I just like the idea also on having a flintlock that's not dependent on primers. You guys saw some of my earlier videos. We were doing the primer, the whole primer deal, where to make your own primers for your cap locks. I like this idea that you could have a dozen flints, and you've got, you know, I don't know how many shots one of these will go for, but I just like the idea. There I am talking again. Let me pay attention to what I'm doing. Got the ball, sprue side up, install it, and like I said, we tried using some. It's getting a little tough, but not that bad. We've done about a dozen shots out here. Try using some of the pillow ticking, but it just ended up being too thick. We're gonna have to find a little bit thinner material, but we're engaging the lands. And like I said, this is just a you know, fun gun to mess around with. So let's get some of these in here, load it up. All right, you can see how much I put. I don't know if that's correct or not, but hey, you know what? It's working for us. And like I said, I like the idea of how the gun with flintlock. I love the idea of having unlimited shots with flint. That's one thing that really appeals to me. So you're not at the mercy. You know, let's try this again here, see if we get this guy. Oh, wow, that was cool. That is cool, man. Woo! Just fun to shoot. Well, hopefully you guys get some info from the video. Get out and grab one of these kits. Grab any kit. Heck, man. I think the kid wants to work on a long gun now, and I think we're going to get it. We're going to start with a block of wood and just try to do it ourselves because, you know, long gun, flint gun, cap lock, whatever you shoot, and just go out and shoot. Remember, you know, it's our sport, our right, our heritage. Get out there and do some shooting. Join the NRA, join the Second Amendment Foundation, because those anti-gunners, they have a lot of cash, and they're not afraid to use it to spread all kinds of rumors and lies about us. Till next time.